best performance I've seen from him as a pro, no question. Winning his second world title in the many divisions in his second weight class at 130 pounds super lightweight. I'm sorry, super featherweight. And them fellas, Shakur Stevenson, you know, he did what I knew he would against Jamal Harry. Like I said in my post-fight review, it's a damn shame had to see two brothers had to go out like that, especially for Jamal Harry, an OG, a guy who was going through his trials and tribulations, but was the longest at the time, current, it was the longest super featherweight champ in boxing, you know. But, due to circumstances on both ends, as far as Shakur Stevenson and Jamal Herring, due to circumstances, they had to fight each other. And those circumstances go by the name of Oscar Valdez. And Miguel Burchard also got a role to play in that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, my man, Shakur Stevenson, he looked real good, you know what I mean? He looked real good against the man. What's his name? He looked real good against them fellas. I'm drawing a blank. What's my man's name? Jamal Herring. But now, we want to see a unification. And that's the unification we've been wanting to see is Valdez, and not just a unification. This is a fight we've been wanting to see since featherweight. Oscar Valdez, when he was a WBO featherweight champ, mandatory challenger was Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson applied pressure on this guy. Slim jumped out the division, went up to 130 pounds, and he fought his best friend, Miguel Burchard, in a great fight, one of the best fights of 2021, and one of the best knockouts of 2021. Beautiful. Oscar Valdez had controversy in his last fight. Them fellas was under PEDs. Them fellas had a bad substance in his system. But still, the powers to be, that's the WBC, of whom he holds the WBC title at super featherweight. They let the fight happen and continue. And they didn't care nothing about the challenger, Robinson Conceição from Brazil, gold medalist from the 2016 Brazil Olympics. They didn't care nothing about that guy's health or his livelihood because they let a PED user go in there and fight the man. So with that being said, the Bob father, Bob Arum, as rumors has it, he wants to make a fight between the WBO featherweight champ, Emmanuel Navarrete from Mexico, versus Oscar Valdez. Now that's a big clash as far as two Mexican fighters. When I think of two Mexican fighters in and around the same weight classes, I go back to fights like Morales and Barrera. You know what I mean? Morales, Daniel Zaragoza. Those are the type of fights where I think of pound for pound Mexican fighters. You know what I mean? In their prime. I'm trying to think of some good Mexican fighters. I remember Julio Cesar Chavez. He fought the likes of, Juan Laporte. That's a Puerto Rican. He fought the, what's my man's name? El Chapo Rosario, Puerto Rican. Greg Haugen, American. I don't remember too many clashes of Mexican versus Mexican. And if they were, on Chavez's resume, he fought a whole lot of bums on them tune-up fights down there in Culiacan, Mexico, Sinaloa, Chihuahua. And those are probably the Mexican fighters he fought. And it's not coming to my mind as far as great Mexican battles. But Burchard and Valdez gave me that kind of, it restored that feeling of back when, you know what I mean? Now, it's a good fight to make. But Emmanuel Navarrete, to be honest, since he was a champion at 122 and 126, he really hasn't fought. I'm trying to tell you, only guy I could remember he fought as far as name was. I've seen every fight he's had since he became world champion and defended it was against is it Isaac Dogbe? The Ghanaian kid based out of England. You know what I mean? Dogbe, little 5'3" dude. Excuse me. You know what I mean? So the guys he's been fighting, these guys have no names. And Valdez is a name. That's great. But if Emmanuel Navarrete is at 126 pounds, I don't even really know the landscape at 126 no more. Gay Russell, I don't even know the last time I seen him fight. He has a WBC 126-pound title. WBA, I don't know who it is. I don't know. I'm trying to think. IBF, it's the kid Galahad. He has the IBF featherweight strap. Emmanuel Navarrete need to fight one of these guys. Try to unify, because he damn sure ain't do that at 122. So F all that. Let me cut down to the chase. We want to see Valdez and what's his name? Shakur Stevenson. Nothing more to it. Nothing more, nothing less. That's the fight right there that's going to put both fighters on the map. You know what I mean? Both fighters on the map. Not so much Navarrete versus Valdez. It'll be a great fight on the West Coast. As far as interest, maybe in the West Coast, maybe in Texas and them kind of places. But here on the East Coast, man, that shit ain't cutting it, man. We want to see the kid from Newark, New Jersey versus Oscar Valdez, a kid from Mexico based out of Arizona. You know what I mean? You check it. So that's what we want to see. And if Bob Arum, according to Shakur Stevenson, he says that's lame that they even considering trying to do that. And Shakur Stevenson said, basically that he'll feel like Valdez is in the Bob Arum top ranked witness protection program if they decide to do that. Make that Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez fight. That fella Stevenson been calling out this guy since he was at 126 now. You know what I mean? Now this guy's in his second weight class. How long will the man Oscar Valdez keep ducking the man Shakur Stevenson? I made a DuckTales about that. And I only make DuckTales when there's a valid reason to say man is ducking. I don't just do it just to do it. You know what I mean? And Shakur Stevenson said something to the effect he doesn't think the Mexican fans will let Oscar Valdez keep ducking and dodging, because Mexican fans are passionate, man. He might be thinking about the Mexican fans in the 90s and the 80s and the 2000s. I don't know about the Mexican fans now. And I'm going to show you why. Canoli's been ducking and dodging black fighters, Mexican fighters, and he's been doing it with impunity, with no shame in his game. Have the Mexican fans put pressure on the man Canoli to fight fellas like Andrade, Charlo, David Benavidez, Zudo Ramirez? No. Canoli fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Baby Chavez. Right. I'm saying. I'm sure I could think of another instance. Right. I'll give you another one. Oscar Valdez. How long he been ducking Shakur Stevenson? Have the Mexican fan base been putting pressure on the man Valdez to take that fight? No. So, Shakur Stevenson, man, I think you might be mistaking the Mexican fan base with a fan base that don't give a fuck about no nationality or none of that. They just want to see the best fight the best. Shakur Stevenson has aspirations to become undisputed at 130 pounds, which is great, To me, those are the best weight classes where I've seen Floyd Mayweather at 130. That's where he was at his best. And also Manny Pacquiao, I believe, at 130. That's where he was at his best. Great division, Even my man Sandy Sadler from Boston, Massachusetts. He got a world title at 130 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. I know he's a two-weight champion. I know he definitely got one. I think he did get one at 130 when he beat the Filipino. His name's escaping me right now. The Filipino guy. and he beat the guy Willie Pep for the featherweight joint. So 130 pounds, a great division. Morales, Pacquiao, Mayweather, Diego Corrales, been great fighters at 130 pounds. Look at this woman. She's singing some Jesus thing. She's singing all loud. She cut it off now. She probably hear me talking about her. I don't know. She stopped. But anyways, yeah, man. So they need to put pressure on this guy. It's a damn shame, they haven't put pressure on Oscar Valdez, Canoli, these guys who are under the Chepo Reynoso PED steroid using regime. They never put pressure on these guys to fight unifications and fight guys who we want to see. But at the end of the day, Shakur Stevenson, NBF, my guy, you already know, man. I didn't make up that acronym. This is true story. You've heard that infamous video from who was it? Was it Cameron Duncan? Some manager who was talking about, you know, a lot of these promoters, they want to keep their fighters away from young black fighters. You know what I mean? And I didn't make this up. This has been going on since the inception of boxing. And here we are in 2021. And the fuckery still goes on. So be March Boxing, leave your thoughts and comments. Let me know what y'all think about Shakur Stevenson and his, you know, Shakur Stevenson, he's suspicious that this fight won't happen, a unification. I mean, I see where he's coming from, and it'll be a damn shame if he doesn't get the fights he wants. All right, be March Boxing, leave your thoughts and comments, and let me know what y'all think about. You think this fight's gonna happen? You think Shakur Stevenson has validity to feel how he feels, especially due to the fact that he's been there with Top Rank and still Bob Arum has not given him these type of guys, even when he's in the mandatory position. Leave your thoughts and comments, and I'll catch y'all. Peace. Middle East, psych. I ain't in the Middle East yet. I'm gone.